Welcome to Season 4 of Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Are you doing it or am I doing it?
You what? Go
You
on,
go.
then, you. Oh, no. Hello and welcome to a confused episode of Casual Camping Podcast. I'm Tim.
No, you're not. I'm Tim. I'm Spartacus.
Should we start that again?
We don't edit.
We don't edit. Well, there you go. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. He says, convincing himself.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Tiny Tim. Please, sir, can I have some more?
You're mixing your Dickens now.
Dickin the Dickens.
Yeah. It's been a dick with the Dickens.
Hey, I don't just stop with Dickens.
What, do you dick outs too?
Rock out with you. Yeah, okay. Let's move on. This
Moving
is a
on.
family show, Tim. It's a family show.
Oh man, sorry. Let's get back on topic. You've been camping.
Been camping. Got the swag out. I rolled out the swag.
Oh,
What I bloody love about the swag is I turned up late because I was working, and you get there, you roll the bugger out, you put a pole in, you peg two ends, done. Throw your
amazing.
sleeping bag in it.
It's
And
great.
I could have thrown my sleeping bag in it beforehand. So yeah, just great.
Yeah, it's the ultimate. It's not, well, I was going to say the ultimate fast and light. It's not light, but it's the ultimate
It ain't
fast,
light.
isn't it? It's the ultimate
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, it just is so good. And I think I was chatting to people on our socials, which you too can join in on if you would like to. Find us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. You can ask us some questions on there. There's some longer videos that we put up. But somebody was saying, oh, the swag, is that the swag that Tim's not allowed to borrow? And I was like, well, Tim can borrow it. It's it's been a while since you've been in the swag, hasn't it?
I've never swagged it. I've never I swagged at Burke and Wills, and
Yes.
which was great. Which is the swag that the same style of swag that you've got. So
I was envious of when we went there. I was envious of the swag that you were in because mine had a zip at the top, and you kind of climbed down into it and then shuffled along. Whereas the one that you had that is now the same as I have got is that it butterflies, both sides open up. It is a two-man.
yeah,
But,
it's
you know.
it's a comfortable. It's a comfortable one man, isn't it? One man swag, lots of space, somewhere to put a bit of, your bag and stuff like that. It's
Yeah, it really is.
it's a cracking piece of kit. We've said it several times before. The Burke and Wills swag is super well made and top quality. It's nice. It's nice that you use it quite a lot. It's probably the one, of your many tents, it's probably the one that gets the most outings across the 12 months, isn't it?
It is, and last weekend I was taking our advice of my local campsite, and so I was working late. My friend wasn't. He came towards me, and I could get there in 10 minutes after work. It was brilliant, Van was packed earlier in the day, and then you just get there and unroll it and get a fire on, get the pizza oven going, make sure there's
Awesome.
a beer cracked. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic for that. And a quick getaway. My partner hardly knew I was gone.
Wow.
I was back home for like 9:30, 10 o'clock the following morning. That's the joy of a local site. You just get out for the day, and I'm not sure she'd got up yet.
You see, that's the thing. It's like having a cheeky camping trip, isn't it? That they don't even know you've gone, really.
They don't even know. I mean, other than who was cooking her food.
I was just going to ask, did she starve? Did she have anything for tea?
Competed with the cats for what they had. Oh no, that's me, isn't it? But yeah, so yeah, took my own advice, got out there, and those local ones are just brilliant. So yeah.
No, it's great. I still haven't followed the advice and found the local one. I am meeting with my he's not my father-in-law, but he's Alex's dad. Is my link to the people who own the land locally, and I'm meeting him tomorrow night. So I'm gonna see if I can get him to kind of chivvy this along a little bit, because
you're gonna put the strong arm on him.
Gonna put my strong arm. It's
Tim. You know what the strong arm is? Just get the whiskies out or something. Threaten him with rum. I'll go on the rum.
The one thing you don't do is threaten an undertaker.
Oh, okay.
They know how to get rid of people.
He knows where the bodies are. Yeah, of course he does.
Of course he does. He knows where they all are.
Oh dear. I'm take it we're not talking about the American wrestler.
No. Yes. No, we're not. We're not talking about the Undertaker.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, well, let me know how that goes, because, I'll be your new best friend.
You're my only friend, Ed.
As well as your brother.
No, it'd be cool. When that does sort itself out, it will be great to have like a free access to some land and some woods that we can just go to anytime. Would be awesome.
It's always a joy, is that. I think the other thing with your local campsite is where you've got, so I'm off in a couple of days' time, going to go to Fire and Stars. It's going to be, actually, as this goes out, I'll be going to Fire and Stars. Be really, really nice. But that's a little bit further away. And so yeah. And yeah, it'd be just quite nice, really.
Yeah, no, you're going to have a cracking weekend. Sorry, I can't make it. It's gutted. I can't make it, but I am camping 3 weekends in May and the last weekend of April. So I'm literally, I've got a lot of back-to-back stuff coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm pretty excited.
It's that time of year. It just feels like exciting, doesn't it? Like planning the year. I mean, I've got, I think, 5 or 6 in the next 2 months.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm desperately looking at new tents because I want to take a new tent on at least one of them.
Have you got the itch?
I've got the itch. I have got serious new tent itch. I am looking. I have a short list of three tents at the moment. I've got to work it down to one. It's there's no money for any of it. I'm skinned, but I've got a serious.
You're doing an Ade special.
Yeah, nobody wants to buy my kit though, Ed.
Sell something. Sell a kidney, Tim. You work in the industry. Somebody will give you. You can't sell your heart. That bugger's done.
My heart itself is fine. It's just the electricity doesn't flow through it properly. But my heart's good. Honest. One careful owner.
It better be. I can't do these on my own. You're the tech guy, Tim.
Jesus Christ, can you imagine?
You'd have to dumb it down for us, I'm sure.
Oh, but you wouldn't stop at respect that I'm dead.
I'd have a week or two, Tim. Come on, let's face it. We'd all be sad.
Oh, so who are you going to replace me with? Because you can't do it on your own.
Well, I mean, there are listeners out there that go, I'm sure it's just one guy. They sound the same. I don't know who's who. I could give it a good go of doing two and, probably just have like a mental breakdown about it all, forgetting who I am. Who I am? Why are you turning up at these hospitals?
You called yourself Tim this week, so
Yeah,
you're halfway there already.
Yeah,
Oh, God. I'm so glad I'm going to be missed.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm sorry. You know what it's like when you just run with something and think, "Oh, this is funny," and then you realise, "Oh, yeah, you are talking about your brother's demise."
You often do, though. Actually, on the show, there's a running joke about how quickly I'm going to die. It's you know.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare! I'm only joking about it because you are a sickly child.
I was a sickly child. Apparently, I was a sickly child. No, I have no intentions of dying anytime soon or stopping the podcast. It's so
good to hear. Good to hear.
There we go. What are you drinking this week, Ed? Drink of the week.
Drink of the week this week is Doombar.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That's nice beer. Drink of the week for me is a cup of Yorkshire tea.
In a Christmas mug.
Because it's a big mug. You've got to have a big mug of tea, haven't you?
Well, you do. Yeah, you really do. So, yes, what are we talking about this week then, Tim?
We are talking about air beams.
Air beams?
Air beams. And I tried to think of like some funny joke for like air beams or some slogan or something, but it just, it's just air beams.
Just air beams. Air beam tents. Brilliant. I thought we should talk about this. Oh, God, are you on the ship? You're rocking. Ooh. If I'm rocking, don't come a knocking.
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh dear, I guess with an air beam, that's the thing. That and campers, camper vans.
Yeah. Oh, dear. You've got an air beam. I'm desperately after an air beam, particularly after you've got one. One, because I'm jealous and I tend to copy everything you do because I'm your younger brother. But two, actually, for some of the reasons that we'll talk about of how convenient it is, I just think, I really want an air beam.
Yeah.
Which is why of my 3 potential tents that I've kind of got in my shortlist, top of the list is still the Bango Air Beam tent because it just looks a really cool tent, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it just does. I think. Well, we'll get into some of those, but the Van Gogh tent did look brilliant. The fabric looked great, and rather than one of those really massive family tunnel tents that you see with the legs and everything, it kind of looked like a smaller version of that, but that you just had like little doorways that you just closed yourself in a little bit more and more. And I just thought, it's just cracking, is that?
It's a really cracking tent. It's the Sierra Air TC300, and it just that's the one that's really got me, scratching an itch at the moment. It's
you know what we're going to do, Tim? For socials this week, why don't you let the listeners decide? Why don't we put a poll up? Which tent should Tim get? Do put in some small print that says, Tim will not be swayed by whatever
Yeah,
anybody else says.
Tim will just ignore what you're saying. But yeah, all right then. I'm up for that. We'll put up a poll of the three. We'll put up a tent poll. Hey,
Hey!
look at that!
Oh.
Look at that! That's a joke right there. We'll put up a tent poll.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Yeah, let's get one and just see what the viewers think.
Yes, viewers.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody's looking at me. I hope not. I'm in pajamas. This is rock and roll, people.
Well, we're the comfortable casual camping podcast.
Absolutely. This.
We're on that CCCP. Oh gosh.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll be marching on Poland before you know it. Oh, that's the Germans.
That's the Germans. We'll be marching on the Ukraine.
Oh, topical. Let's get off politics quick.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So air beams.
Beams.
Tell us about your air beam experience.
Right. So, absolutely fantastic. My experience is. The reason I wanted to talk about it this week is I'm on some like camping tent thing on Facebook, and like they all do, somebody puts up a silly question to go, yeah, so air beams, are they any good? And the amount of kind of silly answers that come up about, somebody was like, well, does it have is it like a bouncy castle or a bouncy house? And, don't they go down in cold weather, and how robust? And it was like, I was honestly really surprised at how people rely on Facebook to answer questions that they don't know.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a Google search, and maybe it's just those things that they're trying to get people to. It's clickbait, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hover
totally.
over this, click on something, follow me. How many interactions can I get? So I understand all of that, but as it was posted, and I was kind of the first person there, I went, well, I'm loving my airbeam tent. So. For those of you that don't know, an air beam does away with the poles in a tent. And so you've got chambers that you pump up to a certain PSI, and they are rigid. And I'd not really played with one until, you'd been talking about it. You inspired me. I found a tent that I liked, and it was a cheap tent off AliExpress. So there you can spend a lot of money. You can buy tents here, there, and everywhere. And I guess they all behave slightly differently, would you say?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So. But for the purposes of me talking about mine, it's a cheap AliExpress. It's called a Go Out Spring Hill Poseidon. It's
cool name. I
mean, it really is, and it's black. It's made out of synthetic fibers, nylon, if you will, and I just like the way that it sort of was. It's a bunker style tent, really, and for the price of it, I paid roughly around £300. I thought it was a bargain. It's 3 meters by 2 meters, and it's 2 meters, I think, high at one end and goes down to about 1.5 at the other end. So a reasonable kind of amount of space in there for what you want. It doesn't come with a floor. One side opens completely up and you zip it back down. I have a floor from like a footprint that goes under my robins, which I use when I'm using it. So I've got of flooring in there really, but
Hmm.
I don't mind an open tent. Certainly when I've been using it recently, it's been winter, so there's no creepy crawlies, there's no bugs getting in. It's just there's nothing about, which I'm fine with. I think in the summer, if I use it, I might go with one of those, get like a little pop-up tent with
Mm.
poles inside that sits on top of uh, that my bed goes in, so it's
Yeah.
protected from anything sort of creeping and crawling around. So I think that looks quite cool as well.
It's very Japanese, is that? It's very
Very
Japanese.
Japanese, yeah, yeah.
Tent in a tent is very Japanese.
Tent in a tent, which, I hear you, everybody going, well, surely that defeats the object, but it looks cool and I'm a bit of a show off. So what can I say? So yeah, I was really surprised about some of those questions that were coming out. So yeah, which were, Tim, you'll be surprised this week. I've
Have
made a
you
list.
have you got some notes?
I've got some notes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
baby.
Oh my God, look at you.
Yeah. What is an air beam tent?
Mm.
Like I said before, it's beams that are the structural part and does away with poles, those fiberglass poles or those DAC poles that you get, where you have to. And I've always been one that's been really frustrated by feeding poles through little sleeves
Mm.
in a tent. It bugs the hell out of me, really. So yeah, doing something like this, I thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. And those air structures that you don't have poles with, sometimes they can be really big. Some of those cheaper
Mm.
tents that I've seen, yeah, they seem to have really massive.
I
Um,
was going to say that. So it seems almost like the cheaper the air beam tent, the bigger the air chambers seem to be.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And the really cheap ones don't even seem to have like a covering over them at all. They just seem to be the plastic air beam. But you can get semi-geodesic air
yeah,
beam tents, aren't they now?
yeah.
As
Is it
is
Hemp
it?
Planet?
Yeah,
Hemp Planet?
yeah, yeah. It's and we even saw that little tiny, teeny tiny one man air beam one, didn't we, at the NEC? The
Oh, the Vango
Bango
one.
helium one, yeah, where you
Yeah,
can pump it up with a bike pump for bike camping, which that was a teeny tiny tent
yeah.
and had a single little air beam going over the top. So the air beams seem to come in different sizes and lots of different shapes.
Yeah, yeah, they really do. I think you can get. Initially, they were kind of the bigger family size ones, but they
Mm,
are starting to bring them down to go, actually, if you're wanting to do those point to point things, or, you talk to your mate Stuart, who does a lot of cycling point to
mm,
point, and he says, the most annoying bit is who takes the poles.
yeah,
If you're sharing a tent, or what do you do with them, or, they're just always, because they're a certain length, aren't they? They're about 14, 15 inches generally, the
yeah, they
poles.
are. And if like you say, if you're on a bike and you're trying to tie all of your equipment to the bike, the poles have got to be a massive pain in the backside of where do you put the poles. It's
Yeah.
so yeah, a little tiny air beam cycling tent must be like the bloody dream, really.
Yeah. And I think our friend Matt, who's just gone and bought the Machu Picchu
Mm,
tent, which was kind of the thing that like that was the tent that I was going with, but it looked so much like my Snow Peak tent that
yeah.
and almost the shape, it looks a hell of a lot cooler than everything else I've got. But because it was quite similar, I realized I couldn't go with that, and therefore finding this other one, I was like,
Mm,
yeah, okay, brilliant. And 300 quid's a lot of money, I know. But compared to some of the prices of some of the Airbnb tents,
yeah.
I felt that that was relatively cheap. I sold a tent for 200 quid, bought that one. I'm £100 in the hole with it. So I was like, brilliant. That
Yeah.
feels like a really good way to go around it.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that something? So just jumping in is cost wise. airbeam tents seem to be more expensive than pole tents, and is it worth? Are they worth the extra cash?
Well, it's quite. I mean, I was going to say it's new technology, isn't it? But they are still developing it.
Mm,
Those, Hemp Planet that are doing some really interesting shapes. Seen quite a few things out there that are starting to sort of challenge normal
mm.
tent shapes. I've seen some lovely things. But that essentially, they're all off the same technology. But I think maybe like we said, the cheaper ones have maybe a fatter cylinder for those. Who knows? Um, and like I said, there's people that are saying, is it like a bouncy castle? That people really don't seem to know about them that
Mm.
much. How solid are they? Do they go down in extreme cold? Will they burst? These were all some of the things that people were,
Mm.
and I remember thinking, actually, I'd heard that actually you get some, like in hot weather, if you've overpumped them, do they not hold up?
Yeah, because that was a concern I had. Because I know if you've got like a stand-up, paddleboard or something like that, and you've pumped that up and you've left it by your tent in the sun, and they actually the pressure increases too high, doesn't it? And they can actually burst. Can you burst an air beam tent?
I'm sure you can. Yeah, of course. So there's guidance that came with it,
Hmm.
and for mine, it was in Chinese.
Well done.
But I watched a load of videos online. They got some really good stuff. They put some videos up on YouTube, and I watched it time and time again while I was impatiently waiting for my tent to turn up, or impatiently waiting for it to leave the factory. And there's about sort of 5 days of it just nowhere. Why is it not moving? There's nobody seen that. Some guy's waiting for his tent. Get that on the flipping next plane. Stat. Um, so there's guidance. Mine has two valves, one that you blow up, and it's got an emergency valve for if anything's going to. So if the pressure gets too much, so if it increases, it'll get rid of some of that pressure
Okay.
automatically, so it can't burst.
So how do you
Um,
how do you know? Uh, does it have a pressure gauge with it, or is it the pressure gauge on your pump?
it's on your pump. So yeah, most of the tents come with uh, a hand pump.
Hmm.
Some of them don't, from what I hear. Obviously, it's an extra cost, and there's a lot of places that go, oh, well, I won't include that. So you
Yeah.
do need something. It's just not a normal pump. It's got to get up to. I mean, mine is 7 psi. 7 to 8 psi, you can do it, and it feels rigid from about 6.
Wow.
So yeah, and the other thing that really concerned me, and not having one, I wanted to find out about was because I almost bought an electric pump because I thought, yeah, sometimes I get really sick of just blowing stuff up and like,
Yeah.
ugh, it was. I think we timed it, and it was 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was because you brought it to the winter camping, didn't you, to see what it was like?
Yeah,
And it was about 2.5 minutes of manual pumping to get it up, which you know,
ain't too bad.
that's
For
not
some
bad.
people, might go, I'm not doing that for 2.5 minutes. But I'm not the fittest of people, so it wasn't slog, and it's changed my mind on actually I don't need to invest in an electric pump and spending 100 quid because that's what they are to blow
Hmm.
it up. It'd take a lot more time, I think, to do it that way.
Hmm. No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And you say yours is really rigid. Have you used it in sort of windy conditions at all? Is there any sort of give or anything in that?
So, because I mean, mine is quite an upright tent in the style that it's at. So, uh, we had it at Edale. It was blustery, and I was nervous about it. You know, you could tell I was nervous about it,
Yeah.
but it actually stayed up. I was like, the sides, once they're pumped up, you can't bend those. There's no give in them. So there is, with other poles and other tents, you have that flexibility of things that move. It was really rigid. It really, really was. So yeah, you know, I was surprised at how rigid it is.
I wonder if, you know, if is that a positive or a negative? Because sometimes you do want a little bit of flexibility, don't you? Because, you know, for those, you know, when the weather turns a bit dicey and you have those sudden gusts of wind that are really powerful, you don't really want things to stand up like firm in it. You do want them to kind of give a little bit. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously not interesting to see you put your tent up in a storm, but it'd be interesting to see what some of the listeners have maybe done with their air beam tents, and what some of their if they've been in a storm, and does it cause more damage, or actually is them being quite so rigid, does it help stand up against stuff?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I've used mine 5 or 6 times. I think I might take it this weekend. Might take it along.
Cool.
See, let the fixer see a new tent. He's bringing a new tent. I might as well show him my new tent.
Or has he finally picked up the new tent?
He's finally picked it up. I was like, you and I are completely different beasts. I like I say, I was looking at, you know, why is it in Shanghai and not moving anywhere? But yeah.
No.
So yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm really surprised at, that they are very rigid, and a lot of people don't. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be challenged technically, I think they do stand up. But I think where you'll then get is maybe wearing of the fabric, or the fabric is under pressure more than the actual tubular air beam bits. So who knows, you know? And like I say, I didn't spend the most amount and got the best. Some of the brand people might be listening to this going, well, yeah, let's not give them any gear. But
you know, we're Casual Camping Podcast. We test all of this stuff, whether it's like expensive stuff, or whether, you know, your costs of your tents range all the way up to that very expensive Snow Peak tent that you've got. So you know, it's perfectly acceptable to have something really cheap. My cheapest tent cost me £50. It's actually no, my cheapest tent cost me £35. It was the Vorday.
the Vord,
That I had
Vorday.
to I cleaned and restrung and everything else. But so, you know, so this stuff, we don't have to spend a fortune on all this stuff. We're not snobs like that. It's really interesting, really, that you got an Airbeam tent off AliExpress, and actually you're really, really chuffed with it. And it's a very cool looking piece of kit, and it stood up to, you know, quite a nasty winter camp.
I mean, it was. I mean, what were we? -6?
Something like that, yeah.
So there was no deflation in any of it. And, you know, I did a little search on the internet for pros and cons beforehand. And it was the same as kind of what I'd said. You know, the pros really are, it's an easy setup, less complicated. You just blow it up, pitch it out, make sure that you've got something tagged down. You don't want this blowing away when it's just up. And yeah, you know, just the rigidity of it and things. Now, one of the cons is they're a little bit more complex to put down. It's not just a question of taking out the poles. If you get air trapped in the wrong end of a tube, that's not going to go anywhere. So you can't roll up it. So there's a bit of letting it down, keeping the valve open, and kind of I do it in my stocking feet, sort of just tramp along the tubes to try and expel as much as possible. But I've packed it away. It's fine. What I've started to do is just kind of get it done and think I'll do that at home. I'll finish off the rest of it, close it
Okay.
down a little bit, and then just Last few times I needed to try it at home anyway, so I just folded it up. And I think that's where the other danger is.
Mm.
Obviously, they're structures that need their integrity. So I think when you're putting it down, we're often in woodlands where there's things that are quite sharp. So
Yeah.
you've got to watch where you're pitching things. They are robust. You can fix them if they get a leak. But I think that's the other thing that you've got to be quite careful with these things. You don't want sharp stuff that's going to puncture
I
anything.
suppose there's also a risk there of sparky burns.
So for me, I used it in Edale. I didn't have as much stovepipe as I wanted, and it would mainly be the outer tent that I was worried about. So
Mm.
I'm not so worried about the inner bits, but you've got to be careful about those things.
Yeah, yeah. And not just from having like a hot tent situation in your own stove, but just having a campfire nearby. I'd be thinking, is it going to get a sparky burn into the air beam and burst the air beam? It's
Yeah, they feel very good for that. I wouldn't be. I don't think it'd melt through it too easily because they are those. They are quite thick.
okay,
So I think
okay,
most sparky burns would go. So you temp fabric that sort of it just needs to sort of land on it, and instantly you've got a little sort of pinprick hole.
yeah,
Whereas those it'd take a little bit more to do.
okay, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Another con that I'd heard is that they're really heavy.
Yep. So they whether or not that'll get any different as the technology sort of increases a little bit more, but you're right. The con is that they are heavy. There's a lot of air beams, and you're looking at one that's an
Mm.
air beam with canvas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's going to be a heavy tent. It's
Yeah,
that is going to be a heavy tent. Yeah.
but you're used to canvas tents, and actually the canvas tents that I've got. So my Robins
Yeah.
comes with steel poles.
Yes, it does. Yeah. So you've got canvas and steel poles, which is really
Yeah,
heavy.
so it is just heavy, but it is robust,
Yeah.
and
Gosh, yeah. The air beam tent that I'm looking at is 21.4 kilos.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a heavy tent.
yeah.
But
And do you know how much your other tents in comparison weigh?
oh gosh, I'm not sure I've
Just so
got.
you've got a comparison really there. So I think I might be able to. I might. Oh, nearly spilled my beer.
Don't spill your
Uh,
beer.
don't spill your beer. Oh, I do. I do. Poseidon 4P Air. Oh, it's in Chinese.
What are you looking at?
I
How
was
how
trying
much
to
it
see if
weighs?
there is a weight, but there isn't that I can understand. Oh, yes, there is 9.7 kilograms.
Okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's light fabric. It's ripstop fabric, nylon. So yeah, but it's
So one of the other tents I'm looking at has got a combined weight of 5.7 kilos. That's quite
oh
it's quite a difference there, isn't it? But that's a convention. It's not a canvas tent, isn't that one? And I do love canvas.
yeah.
So, but yeah, it's that's a pomoli or pomeli. I don't know how you pronounce it. Barracuda 2 is that one that I'm looking at. It's
Yeah.
that's a super light, but it's a nylon tent, so it's always going to be super light.
Yeah.
It's
So yeah, I mean, for me, um, once I've got away from how light things should be,
yeah,
and bear with me with this, but I think if it's over 5 kilos, it's a heavy tent. And from there on, it doesn't matter whether or not it's 5 kilos, 15 kilos, or 20 kilos. It's a
yeah,
heavy tent. You ain't going backpacking with it. Okay. Accept it.
yeah. The other one, the third one, is 15.8 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but you're right there. Once you reach a certain weight on it, it makes no difference what it weighs,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tents out there with conventional poles that weigh an absolute ton anyway. So
Yeah.
weight shouldn't really be a defining factor about what you're doing. Whether you're carrying an air beam tent, does it? I mean, the little tiny ones don't weigh an awful lot. I don't think they hold the pressure as high as like the bigger tents that you're sort of talking about with
Yeah.
the larger beams in them.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, you're right. Once it wears so much, you're pouring another beer. Oh man,
Well,
school night. What are you doing?
well, I just thought, oh, it tastes nice. I'm liking this conversation. Um,
Oh man, no, good on you. Good on you. It's
yeah. What were you just saying there?
I was just saying, I was just agreeing with you really that actually, it doesn't. Once a tent weighs so much, it really doesn't matter what it
Yeah.
weighs beyond that. You're car camping. You're sticking it in the car and you're camping with it. So I've read quite a few people kind of say, "Oh, they're so heavy. I'm not switching to air beam tents." But it's like, you know what? You know, conventional pole tents, family, big family tents weigh an absolute ton.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't make any difference. It's
Yeah.
you know
It
it
really
sounds
doesn't.
sounds like Airbeam is so easy to put up. I mean, it was watching you do it, and
And that was the first time out of the box. I hadn't tried that. So that was, I turned up, you guys cleared a space in the snow for me, and I unfurled it and pumped the bugger up.
yeah, yeah, and you
First
did it,
time.
yeah,
And
super
it was
quick.
like, oh,
Yeah, it
that
was. It
was,
was like that. I did a time lapse because I was expecting it to take minutes and minutes, and I could have just videoed it normally because it took 2.5 minutes. It's
yeah,
the time lapse was like 5 seconds because it was literally
yeah.
up. It'd
And
be
and and for that, getting somewhere, putting that up and going, right, I've just got to put my stuff inside. It almost feels like my decathlon bed frame that I put my mat on.
mm,
That almost feels like it takes more effort.
yeah, interesting actually because that's air beam technology as
That's
well, isn't
air
it?
beam, yeah, that's air beam technology. So you're up off the floor and stuff, and it's got struts, but it almost feels like, and that was the thing when I bought the air beam, I was like, oh, sometimes pumping that up is annoying. Oh, maybe I'll get an electric thing, but oh, you know what? Just get the pump and see what it is. The pump that came with it, I think, is the better than the Decathlon pump.
Okay.
So the Decathlon pump. You know what, Tim? It's
Mm.
dead to me. It's going on the barter barn. It's
Is it
going on the
really?
barter
Oh
barn.
my God. Oh
There'll
my
be
God.
somebody that needs that, isn't there? They'll be like, "Oh, actually, we forgot our pump." And I was like, "Yeah, there you go. What are you
There
going to
you go.
barter me for it?"
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, no, cool, cool. That's funny. You've got so much stuff that's dead to you. This
It's dead to me now. Until I go looking for it in about a year's time. Go,
Yeah,
oh,
you're going,
that
oh
that'd
God.
be that'd make that next camp perfect. Where is it? Oh, I bartered it away.
Oh, funny, funny. Yeah, you're gonna kick
Yeah.
yourself. You are gonna kick yourself for some of it. But
Well, Yeah.
So would you? I mean, it's obvious that you highly recommend actually looking at airbeam stuff. I'm really keen to get my hands on one, and it's currently top of my list. Um, you're going to take it this weekend. You're going to have a bit of a play, take some lots of pictures and videos, and get it on the socials and show
Yeah,
people
I think
what it's
so.
like.
I mean, I'm going to take a couple of tents because we've got a tent that's going on the bar to bar, not one of ours that somebody gave us. Didn't go into production, but it's really unusual. So, and that's a big canvas tent. I don't have enough time, space in my garden to play around with it. So, I'm going to
Wow.
take that, and so we have some pictures for when we try and barter hard with people about who wants a canvas tent.
Yeah, gosh. People are going to have to bring something really quite decent though to exchange for that because we're not giving that away for like a half empty gas bottle. You
We're not
know.
giving anything away for a half-empty gas bottle.
No.
Tim.
Do you know what I mean though? I mean what are we expecting people to bring to swap
Well,
for a tent? That
and for me and thee, there's certain things that are dead to us, aren't there? But we know the intrinsic value of stuff, and if you like something that you think, oh, well, actually, what can you sweeten the deal with? Well, I've got
Mhm.
this tent, and I've got something else. Here's an
Yeah.
accent, whatever it is. Beers for the weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest this live on the show, but if it doesn't get bartered, there's always an auction, isn't there, on the last day of some
Yeah.
really cool stuff. I think we should donate it to the auction and as a donation from Casual Camping Podcast. And
If it's not been bartered away already.
if it hasn't been bartered away, then I think we'll donate it to that because it's a super unique tent. Because, like you say, never went into production, one
Never
of a
went into
kind.
production.
Nobody else,
Honestly,
nobody else will have this tent ever.
yeah, I made sure that it was all there, and it looks a fabulous tent. I was like, oof, I'd quite like the awning. I quite like the thing without the like. We've talked about putting a stove jack through a tarp so that you could
Yeah,
sit under a tarp. You
yeah.
could do it with this, and it looked brilliant.
Oh God! You see, I'm so gutted I'm not coming camping this weekend because you're taking the air beam and having a play with that. I really want to see that again, but you're gonna have a play with a tent that's like super unique. So I'm gutted I'm not coming. It's going to be a cracking weekend for you.
Yeah, well, hey, you could do birthday surprise. We're having lunch with Ade in
Birthday surprise! I'm not here. That
Oh
might be a
God.
winner. No, it won't.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, yeah. And if you are thinking of coming to the Bushcraft show, brilliant. If you don't have your tickets, we do have a code for 15% off. But do think about those things that you maybe, you've got something there that you think, well, I've not used that in the last 4 or 5 times that I've gone camping. Maybe I'll bring that along to see what I can barter for something else. Come and have
yeah.
a look. Come and have a chat to us. It's a bit of fun, but we'll drive some hard bargains, I think.
Well, I think you will. I think you will. I'll just. I'm more the laugh. I'm more the laugh. What is that code, Ed?
It is CCP 15.
And that gets you 15% off day or weekend tickets. So come along, have a laugh, come and see us. It's Should we go to a minute mindfulness?
I think so.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
Ah, brilliant. It was like a I was going to say, I hope you've not put on like a like something just burst. Like a flat tire going down. Hopefully it's less stressful than that.
Oh, just like a balloon letting itself down. Oh, I'm gonna have to try and find that now. It's funny. No, I think there's a lot of myths out there. I think you've probably busted a lot of myths by just talking about your experience of it. I you've certainly not put me off,
Yeah.
and if anything, I'm more convinced that what's currently at the top of my tent pole, hey,
Hey.
is firmly at the top of my tent pole. I just need to save my pennies and
Yeah.
and see how I go. But we will put a tent pole out and let people have a little look at the three tents that I'm currently looking at and see what people think. But I ain't going to listen to what you say anyway. So it
No,
makes a difference.
this is just for fun, so that you can see what Tim's deciding on, and yeah, it'll be interesting, I think, for everybody.
Mm,
But yeah, I think what I'm unsure of is longevity.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, what is the longevity of something that, and I have more tents, so not every tent gets used every time that it's up, down, and it's sort of 20, 30 times a season or a
Mm.
year. So yeah, when you're relying on air beam technology, is that lifespan a little bit less? Who knows?
I suppose, yeah, because you've got, does the rubber perish and then no longer, what's the lifespan of that? But also, you're folding this stuff up. Is it going to get creases in it, and are those creases going to be weak points where it
Yeah,
might then get a leak? Or like you say, you're getting this out and folding it away lots and lots and lots of times. Well, that can create weak points, can't it? So, will that make it?
yeah.
Burst in a few years' time at those points. Interesting. Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell, and I don't think that this is like a rubber inner tube. I think there are layers of
Mm.
stitching in order to, and that's where the weight is within this kind of fabric, within those tubes. But only time will tell, and the more I get used to it, do I get a little bit slapdash? Do I put it next to some rose bushes, or don't know where I'm camping where there's rose bushes, but there's an awful lot of brambles
Yeah,
in the forest floor and stuff. So yeah, it's just those times that you're not as
yeah. You're not
careful.
you're not as careful. It's I mean, they are. The flip side of that is as well that you've bought yours from AliExpress. It's going to be really hard to kind of speak to that manufacturer to get spares and repairs and things like that. If you go with a more well-known company, more well-known brand that might be here in the UK or North America or elsewhere in the
Yep,
world,
yep,
you've got that backup, haven't you, of a of
you really
a
do.
of a
Yeah,
of a recognized brand who do repairs and spares. You can replace the tubes. I have read that they can be replaced if you have like a serious accident with them. But so yeah, I suppose
I, I suppose that that'll be almost the same cost as buying a new tent. Really, you know. I think you can repair them a bit like a inner tube on a
okay.
bike, but what happens if that fails?
I'm gonna ask the old faceache just to see what's the cost. What's
Oh,
the cost of replacing an air beam in a tent. Let's see what the old A up says. Okay, well, I don't believe that because it says, okay, replacing an air beam in a tent typically costs between 20 and £100 per tube. Okay, that sounds probably about right, actually. Depending on the size, brand, and type of tent, smaller or specialized beams cost around 20 to £30, while larger main beams for high-end tents can exceed 100. Popular brands like Vango or Berghaus offer specifically designed tubes, often referred to as air tubes, bladders, or air beams.
Yeah, yeah. And
So yeah.
that's the thing with the Vango that you're looking at. The diameter of those tubes isn't very big.
No, they're not. They're I quite like that about it. So
I like it.
they're quite narrow tubes. They're about 10 centimeters across, aren't they? It's
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, mine, I'd probably say are around 6 inches across, maybe. Yeah. And the Hollow Wild ones, they felt much bigger.
Yeah, that's a massive beast of a tent, is that? And you said about Matt, who's got that. They've also got the full extension to it, which is almost as big
Yeah.
as the original tent. I mean, that you gotta. There's a lot of sites that aren't going to let you turn up with something that big.
Well,
That's a monster. I mean, it's a good,
I mean,
catchphrase. It's a good looking monster, but it's a monster.
yeah, but it's a big family.
Yeah,
You
it is. It is.
it's a big family tent, and yeah, I think it's cracking. So yeah, I think it is just time will tell with some of those things, but like you say about roof tents, do people get sick of them? Is it sort of a fad as maybe this is the same. I think tents will always be tents, but there are those people that go, you know what, this is annoying the hell out of me putting this up.
Yeah.
So, I want something that's quicker, durable, holds its shape and rigid.
What'd be interesting to see is if somebody starts to make air beams that you can fit to other tents and get rid of your poles. So can you put an external air beam around like a tunnel tent that clips into the existing clips that you put your poles onto and no longer carry your poles? Can you make for my bell tents have got one central pole. Well, can you make a single air beam that's going to replace the massive heavy steel pole that goes up the middle of that and just pump that up? Can you
like a little flipping spider's legs in a bell tent?
yeah, like a tripod thing that goes around it on the inside, and then actually you don't have a central pole at all. Or can you just do one single pole and pump it up to a decent pressure that it holds the tent up?
Let's make it, Tim. Let's make it and let's see what we can do.
Let's take your air beam tent apart and see what we can do.
Quite glad you're not coming now.
But that could be where the technology goes. That actually, I've still got my great tunnel tent. I'm sick of these poles. Well, actually, there's a company that does air beams of different sizes that can go on the outside of tents that you then suspend your tent under, so to speak.
Yeah,
Retrofit your existing tent with air beams. I've just invented some more technology there, guys. Somebody take that and run with it.
Hey, honestly, I think for bell tents, that's a winner, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that would be a great idea. Maybe I should keep the 3 meter bell and just
just ask somebody to make you a
single air beam
for it.
Yeah. Oh well, let's try. Let's see what we can do. Well, I suppose we better clear off, really.
Well, let's leave these good folks to the rest of their journey to work or whatever. We hope you've enjoyed listening. Please subscribe. It means a lot to us. We do this for a reason. And, that really helps.
Yeah, cool. All right then, everybody. You have a great weekend camping, Ed.
I will.
I am envious of you, but I'm going to have a great weekend not camping. So and I'll speak to you next week when you come back.
Yes, definitely. I'll take some pictures.
Good man.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.